Hello, the game has started and it's me to go first. I have a unbalanced rack, just the one vowel. I could play snarl, but I don't want to get rid of the S. Maybe just gran. Hopefully I'll draw some vowels. Nope, just the one vowel and a few clunky consonants, the F and the V, so not much of an improvement at all. Yeah, possible fav play and pray for some vowels, but a poor score and not a great rack leave, so depending on what opponent does, I suppose a play of div for 22, that would be better. Could even play off the S as well, in the hope of drawing some vowels. Now Vild is good as well. That might be worth considering. Okay, that's no longer an option. Opponent bingos and takes the lead. I do have Fid here for 30. Oh, Fids and Grants for 39, that'll do. Not great. Duplicate L and the V. So I'm not exactly in bingo territory yet. Now Vel is good. That'd be one way of getting rid of the duplicate L and E. Don't mind keeping the E on the rack. Now Veli is no good, I don't think. What about... Well, I've almost got leveler. If the N were an E. Lev is good. Vly is good. I'd like to get some score though. Nothing for going at the end of. Wow, not... I don't think Veli... No. Nervy, but I need to get rid of one of these L's. Maybe just a levy. Ventral. It's a very tight board, so unfortunately Ventral does not currently play. No front hooks for iodated. Ventral now does play. That is fortunate. Oh, one square too high. Ventral for 78. Pretty balanced, but BWG not great together. I could just play web somewhere. Opponent scores and takes my spot. Big. No, the rack leave is not ideal there. Now Blaw is good, and well, what else do I have here? Blaw. No. What about widget? That scores quite well. A little bit volatile. Euphobia, not quite. Of, no longer have a back hook for of. Opponent likely to play. Oh, he's vowel heavy, so I've got wop here, which would score quite nicely for 36. What about a PH word like phone? Dep, that would be quite... Even fon for 35 would be decent. Now what about a hotspot through the eye? Almost euphobia if the N were an A. Well, I could just open it up and play something like phone for 38, and then we both have a shot at a triple word square. Or, how about this spot? Oh, I don't have... I've got nub and hob. That's 35. That's quite nice. Doesn't give much back to opponent, and I don't mind the UN together. 35, is that the go? Yeah, it gets rid of two clunky consonants. I'm going with this. Not a great pickup. Pretty far from a bingo with these tiles, even though there is a good balance of vowels. Ooh, that hurt. Opponent takes a lead of about 90 points. A massive 149 point play. And I was going to play WOP for 36. Maybe I should have. Anyway, it is what it is. So let's move on. B-E-I-N. Bane. Bane. 26. Just looking at ways of maybe a play of puny 28, and then I've still got the B potentially for a hotspot there. Puny. Yeah, I think I will go with this. Not great. Boite is good, so that would score quite nicely for 44. Opponent, good chance he might take that hotspot. The board starting to tighten up. Not a whole lot of scoring opportunities left. I have a T, but nothing for going after IN, so I'm not going to score a whole lot in column M. I do have maint. 20, pretty poor score. Opponents played yip, so I will go with Boite. 44. Wow, that's not bad. I have like words. So... oh, I would have had dome-like if I didn't play Boite. Well, if I didn't play Boite, I wouldn't have picked those tiles up. Now, what about... up takes an S. Do I have a bingo with the blank as an S? Milko. Wow, yep takes an E, so I do have cool for 48. I think I might actually go with this. So, what do I have here? I'm still about 29 behind, but if I can play a bingo now with the ending on an I, because G takes an I. Now, up takes an S, so I should have a bingo. Miss Lane. Opponents provided another spot to hook onto with a G. So is there a bingo with ending in an I or an O? Malison. Doesn't work. Actually, it does play here. That is not bad. 74. No H's to come, but there is an O and 2 I's. So that could give back some score to opponent, although not necessarily huge scores. Now, is there Nesmil? Or, yeah, Nesmil scores 75. No, I don't want to do that. I think Malison would be fine. But getting the M tripled surely would be best. What about Laminas? No, that's not a thing. Animals? No. I think Malison looks fine for 74. Not great, but I do draw an O. Opponent might have an I. I do have a small lead, but opponent might come back there. The Z and the Q could be crucial. Ah, so I have OE. OE for 21. Do I do that? I think I do. $21. Can I extract more? No. Nothing else works under the JO. So I think I will go for this. 21. Now, opponent has got some good flexibility with the Z. And, well, he can't pluralize of because it doesn't take an S. But he'll have at least a 30-point play, which will give him a slight advantage. 2 in the bag, so he might actually be going out first. I do have Korf for 27. Hopefully he picks up the last 2. I think he will. Kauf. This is unlikely to be blocked, although ads is good. No, he's unlikely to just play the Z there. Corf could be the crucial play here. Wow, not exactly a great board for the Z. It's quite tight. Even though those remaining tiles are very flexible. It's almost a bingo there, I would say. Yeah, just wondering what opponent might have had. He might have had SIR, which would have actually SIRE. Wow, he would have scored enough to win, I would say there. If he in fact has SIRE on his rack, chances are he does have an I and an E, because they're two of each. But yeah, I think blocking this bottom spot was quite important going into the end game with the scores that close. Now, if Corf is blocked, which it might well be, do I have an out in two? Do I have an out in two? What's the longest word I can make from... Wow, opponent has a big score there. 51. Yeah, that might be too much for me to come back from. That's 27, which would... He still has a lead. And I don't even think I can go out with man. I can at the bottom, Nam and Manar. Manar would be nice. I'll go with Corf. Manar would be beautiful for 21. He'll probably identify that spot. But if he does... Look at that, 6 points in it. Does opponent have an outplay? Circa is good, but that won't work. Wow, how close can you get? This is pretty close. I've only got 2 minutes 20 to extract a higher score than Manar, or a similar score, because if he blocks that, what do I do? Offer isn't good, is it? Offer. Wow, that... I think maybe with a Y, offy. Czar, okay, so opponent, I need... What do I need? I need 22 to win. If I play Manar, it's 21, plus I get 4 on countback. I think this is enough. Wow. That was close. I just want to check offer because it does ring a bell. Yeah, offer is good. So Manar, I think, was the optimal play there. Thank my opponent for the game. 497 to 484. Wow, very close. Let's go back and see what we missed. So, Gnarl with a K or a G. It did cross my mind, but it wasn't jumping out at me. So Gnarl is good with a G as well. That would have been better. IO dated for 73 comes down, and then I've got this rack to deal with. Frivol. That's one way to sort out a consonant heavy rack. Decent score, good rack leave. Fids was second best, not by much. So pretty similar. And given the blocking nature of the word fids, I still like it actually over frivol. So opponent now has, and he would have had racks there. That would have been, but yeah. Anyway, so opponent's got a few options here in the 20s and goes with Harry. And I played Levy evenly. Okay. Very similar though, the equity scores, so still happy with Levy and Levy, or 28. That seems okay, but Wuxia for 40. Okay, a bit more volatile. Opponent goes with or ventral. Yep, that gave me the bingo spot I needed. There was only one bingo playable in one spot. And then opponent's got a 38-point comeback. Wow. So he then just nips ahead by a few points. Widget was a good score, albeit volatile. And now opponent's got this rack. Plays Uoi. That seems fine. Now, a few plays Hopbine. That's a word I do know. And that would have been pretty good for 42. Wow. Upbow for 36. That's nice. I did look at WOP down here for 36. And almost pulled the trigger on it. But I tend to like the parallel plays more, generally speaking. So I went with Hob at the top there. Goatweed comes down for a massive 149 points. 2 bingos essentially in one score. Now I'm how much behind? 90 roughly. Puny was best score-wise. Why didn't I play Puny? I did look at it. B7, that's a different position. Puny. I only looked at it in the bottom right here. So it would have been better on the left. But anyway, opponent's now got the J and a couple of S's, but just scores in the 20s. Yep, Boita was best for 44, so that looks okay. Now opponent's got a 66-point power play in the form of Joss or Jas. Massive score. That would have put me 100 behind. Opponent goes with Joint, and Cool for 48 was the optimal play. No bingos available. And opponent's got a few duplicates there. So Rins for 27 was best. And Laminas, I did actually place it on the board, but I don't know why I didn't. It would have left an N here. Would that have been easier to score? I think better to put the S there than the N, because the S takes fewer vowels underneath it than the N. But anyway, not much in it. Malison came down, and opponent's got some heavy artillery here. There was a 49-point play. Says at C7. Says and Za. That's a huge score. And opponent went with Chi with a very good rack leave, and it was simming best anyway. Now, for the reasons previously mentioned, I wanted to take out this hotspot because, yeah, I just thought a play, for example, of SIRE, and even worse, SIREN, could have been about 40, mid-40s, and that would have sunk me. No chance of bingoing with this rack. So I thought, take out the hotspot. And as it happens, opponent didn't have an I or an O to go under there, so that was just fortunate. But I needed to look at potential plays, and the board was pretty blocked up anyway, apart from up here. So opponent's got 51, highest score, and that put the cat amongst the pigeons because I now have a 33-point deficit to make up. But the one benefit is that I do have the likelihood of going out first, having identified the two play out in two spots after Z's was played. So Korf simming best, that was alright. And then now this is interesting. If opponent plays Ark at I1, that gives him 29 points, putting him on 498, and I have to score 35 points to draw. Points to draw. So let's say the Manar play was 30. I would have got an extra 4 because opponent had 2 1-point tiles. I would have lost by 1. So Ark was the winning play. And opponent had some time available to identify that, and if he was doing the post-analysis, I guess he'd be quite disappointed to have missed that, because that is a winning play. I cannot see a higher score than 30 for Manar. So that was the end of the game. I suppose a little fortunate at the end there to scrape through a winner. Hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.